When Jacob Fatu arrived in WWE last summer, he wasn't just another Bloodline member. He was a revelation, a 300-pound force of nature who could fly through the air with the grace of a cruiserweight. The moment he stepped foot on SmackDown, everything changed. But here's the thing, despite dominating everyone in his path, despite proving himself time and time again, despite literally making Braun Strowman the monster among men stay down for a 10 count, Jacob Fatu still doesn't have gold around his waist. LA Knight's impressive US title run has been a breath of fresh air, but when these two collide at WrestleMania, we're not just watching a title match, we're witnessing the coronation of WWE's most destructive force. The question isn't if Jacob Fatu will become United States champion, it's what happens to the landscape of WWE when he does. This isn't just fan theory or wishful thinking, this is the collision course WWE has been building towards since day one. So today we're breaking down exactly why Jacob Fatu isn't just going to beat LA Knight at WrestleMania, he needs to beat LA Knight. So without any further ado, let's dive right into it. To understand why Jacob Fatu's United States Championship win is inevitable, we need to look at his entire WWE journey. When Solo Sikoa introduced Fatu as part of the new Bloodline in June 2024, it wasn't just another family member joining the faction, it was the unleashing of a weapon WWE had been eager to acquire for years. Remember, this is a man who made his name on the independent scene by redefining what a big man could do in the ring. While WWE fans were just getting to know him, hardcore wrestling fans were thinking, finally they've got him. From day one, Fatu wasn't booked like a typical newcomer finding his footing. He was positioned immediately as a main event attraction like he should. Within months of his debut, Fatu was already involved in headline matches at Money in the Bank, Bad Blood and Survivor Series. That's not the typical trajectory for someone fresh to the main roster. That's the push reserved for someone WWE sees as a cornerstone of their future. They didn't bring Fatu in to be another foot soldier. They brought him in because they knew they had something special on their hands. What makes Fatu truly unique is his unmatched combination of size, agility and pure intensity. At around 300 pounds, the man has no business executing flawless moonsaults and diving outside the ring like he does. Yet he does it with frightening ease. The way he moves defies physics and expectations. He's not just a big guy who can move well for his size, he's legitimately one of the best athletic performers on the entire roster, period. It's not just about his in-ring ability that's made his rise so compelling, it's the aura that he carries, the legitimate sense of danger that follows him. When Jacob Fatu's music hits, there's a split second where the entire arena collectively thinks someone's about to get their ass kicked. That's not something you can manufacture or force. It's either there or it isn't, and with Fatu it's undeniable. Initially brought in as Solo Sikoa's heavy, Jacob Fatu was positioned as the muscle behind the new Bloodline leader, but something fascinating happened over the past few months. The supposed subordinate began to eclipse the leader. While Solo was theoretically calling the shots, it became increasingly obvious that Fatu was the true star of this new faction. The dynamic shifted noticeably after Solo's loss to Roman Reigns on Raw's Netflix debut. While Solo disappeared to lick his wounds, Fatu continued to dominate and essentially took control of the group. This wasn't just a temporary placeholder situation, it was a natural evolution that highlighted the power imbalance that had been brewing all along. What we've seen since early 2025 is a growing tension between Fatu and Sikoa. It's manifested in subtle ways, questioning glances, hesitation to follow orders, and a clear frustration with Solo's leadership. These moments haven't just been random booking decisions, they've been deliberate breadcrumbs leading to what many believe is an eventual split. The reports that WWE originally planned for Fatu to face Solo at WrestleMania before changing direction speak volumes. The company sees the obvious tension and star potential in Fatu, but they're wisely letting this story breathe rather than rushing to a conclusion. That restraint shows just how much they value Fatu's long-term prospects. else. What makes this evolution so compelling is how organic it feels. Fatu hasn't explicitly turned on Solo or made any grand declarations of independence. He's simply outgrown the constraints of being someone else's enforcer. His actions, his demeanor, and his growing confidence all point to a man who knows his worth and is ready to stand on his own. The United States Championship isn't just a prize for Fatu, it's his declaration of independence from the Bloodline. It is opportunity to establish himself as a singular force in WWE, rather than the extension of a family legacy. If there was any lingering doubt about Fatu's monster status, his feud with Braun Strowman has completely obliterated it. This rivalry has been the perfect showcase for why Fatu is ready for championship glory. Think about this. Braun Strowman is legitimately one of the most physically imposing superstars in WWE history. The big SOB has built his entire career on being the immovable object, the unstoppable force. For years, we've watched Strowman toss grown men around like children and flip cars like they were toys. He's been the measuring stick for raw power in WWE. And yet, from their very first encounter at Saturday night's main event in January, Jacob Fatu has gone toe-to-toe with this giant and matched him strength for strength. Actually, he's beat his ass. That initial match was so brutal that it ended in disqualification when the referee had to stop things because Strowman was legitimately hurt. Fatu didn't just compete with the monster, he destroyed him. Their feud has escalated from there, with each encounter more violent than the last. Their recent last man standing match was brutal. It was a war that pushed both men to their absolute limits. They battled through the arena, crashed through barricades, and destroyed tables like it was going out of fashion. The most telling moment though, when Fatu delivered that devastating hip attack that sent Strowman crashing through the table in the corner. It wasn't just a cool spot, it was the culmination of months of storytelling. It was Fatu proving once and for all that he could do what virtually no one else on the roster could do: keep Braun Strowman down for a 10 count. Let that sink in. Braun Strowman had never lost a televised last man standing match before facing Jacob Fatu. This was a stipulation tailor-made for his strengths, yet Fatu conquered him anyway. If Fatu can overcome the monster among men in his signature match type, what chance does LA Knight really have? The United States Championship deserves more than just being another prop. It should represent something meaningful, and right now WWE has the perfect opportunity to elevate this title to new heights with Jacob Fatu. We've seen this blueprint before with Gunther and the Intercontinental Championship. When the ring general captured that title, he didn't just hold it, he transformed it through sheer dominance, incredible matches, and an aura of legitimacy. Gunther restored prestige to a championship that had been floundering for years. He made the Intercontinental title feel like it mattered again. Jacob Fatu has that same transformative potential with the US title. Imagine a reign where challengers aren't just fighting for a championship, they're surviving an encounter with the Samoan Werewolf, where every defense feels like a significant hurdle rather than a forgettable TV match, where the championship becomes synonymous with brutality and excellence. The US title has a rich history being held by incredible workers who brought legitimacy through in-ring prowess. From Harley Race to Ric Flair, from Bret Hart to Eddie Guerrero, from John Cena to AJ Styles, Jacob Fatu fits perfectly into this lineage as someone who can make every match feel special through sheer physical intensity. And let's be honest, while LA Knight has been entertaining as champion with his charisma and mic work, the title hasn't truly elevated him during his reign. The championship still feels secondary to Knight's personality rather than being enhanced by it. With Fatu, the championship becomes integral to his character development, the physical manifestation of his growth beyond the bloodline and into his own legacy. A dominant Fatu reign could set up months of compelling television. Imagine the open challenges where competitors must summon every ounce of courage to step into that ring. Imagine the rare occasions when someone actually pushes Fatu to their limits. Imagine the eventual hero who finally dethrones him, becoming an instant star in the process. That's how you build the championship's prestige, by making both the title and its holder feel genuinely special. WrestleMania isn't just another show, it's where WWE sets the tone for the coming year. It's where they indicate who they're investing in for the future, and all signs point to Jacob Fatu being one of those investments. Think about the narrative rhythm here. Fatu arrived as a monster. He proved himself against other monsters like Strowman. He's shown signs of independence from the Bloodline, and he's stood toe to toe with Roman Reigns. The next logical step in his progression is championship gold, and not just any championship, but a title won on the grandest stage of them all. For LA Knight, the United States Championship has been a tremendous accomplishment and validation of his popularity, but for Fatu, this title represents something more. It's the launch pad for what could be one of the most dominant runs in recent WWE history. The timing is perfect too, with WrestleMania 41 taking place in Las Vegas. There's no better setting for the crowning of WWE's newest destroyer. Vegas is all about spectacle, about moments that people talk about long after they've left. Fatu standing over LA Knight's broken body, United States Championship raised high, would be exactly that kind of moment. And let's not forget the potential fallout. A Fatu victory creates immediate storytelling possibilities with Solo Sikoa and the rest of the Bloodline. Does Solo try to claim credit for Fatu's success? Does he attempt to assert the championship belongs to the family rather than Jacob himself? These tensions could explode into one of the most compelling feuds of 2025. When Jacob Fatu's hand is raised at WrestleMania 41, it won't just be the end of a match, it'll be the beginning of a new era for the United States Championship. An era where the title is feared rather than coveted. An era where challengers must ask themselves if the prize is worth the punishment. LA Knight has been a worthy champion who's brought entertainment value to the title, but wrestling isn't just about who can talk the best game, it's about who can back it up in the ring. And nobody backs it up quite like the Samoan Werewolf. The signs are all there, the momentum is undeniable, the story has been building since Fatu's arrival, and at WrestleMania 41, Jacob Fatu won't just win a championship, he'll cement himself as one of WWE's most dominant forces for years to come. So yeah, LA Knight might be telling everyone that he'll be the last man standing, but after what we saw happen to Braun Strowman, I'd say the Megastar should be very, very worried. When the dust settles in Vegas, it won't be "yeah" echoing through Allegiant Stadium. It'll be deafening silence with a new United States champion, Jacob Fatu. So what do you guys think? Is Jacob Fatu destined to dethrone LA Knight, or does the Megastar have another trick up his sleeve? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more wrestling content right here on Wrestling Real.